Right then, time for another daily. I've heard today's is quite hard, so buckle up, I guess. And I'm going to do a timer because I'm a bit tight on time. So let's go. You've also got the dulcet tones of my dishwasher going in the background. So sorry about that, but you know, these things can't be helped. Right, this is clearly early on in the Obama. I'm thinking this is probably, I mean, everyone's taking photos on actual cameras. So this must be maybe the beginning of his presidential bid, which I'm guessing is about 06, 07. Dishwasher making funny noises. 07. I think that's probably okay. Where do you reckon this is? Maybe Chicago? Or Washington? Somewhere in this corner of the world. I don't recognise that building as looking very Chicago, but I mean, it's got the president. Maybe this is just after he won. Maybe this is 08. And maybe this is Washington. Let's just plonk it somewhere in Washington. I think I don't know exactly. But for lack of, I mean, President's Park. I mean, I don't. The building behind isn't the White House, is it? Anyway, whatever. Let's do that. 08. Middle of Washington. How's that? Oh wait, let's do that. Oh man. Okay. That is Prague. In 2009. Were there any clues as to that being Prague? Okay. Yes, I can see that today's is quite difficult. Well, I was right that it wasn't Chicago. Okie doke. Alright, well, we've lost a huge number of points there. Let's keep moving. That's a statue of... Is that Lenin? Coming down or going up or something. These cars to me look sort of 1970s. Around about that sort of time. It all looks quite CSEME. What would that word be? CSEM. Not really sure. Voyage. Gosh, it is a hard day today. What am I missing? Reasonably okay with the time, I think. I think 70s is... Ah, look. M-U-S-Z. Movek. This, again, looks, as is quite often the case, looks kind of Hungarian in the language. This kind of M-U-S-Z. Let me just see if we can find that kind of language in... I think it's this sort of language, isn't it? Do we think it could be in Budapest? I guess it could also be like the old Czechoslovakia. I don't know. It's going to be in this sort of general part of the world. Why don't we pop it in Slovakia, because then it's kind of between. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not very confident in that location. Oh my word! It was 1990, and it was in Budapest. It's always Budapest. If in doubt, it's in Budapest. Right, okay, well, not good. Not good. Man. Okay, this is gonna be a very low scoring day, I think, but let's see if we can improve. That is what language is that? I'm having a bit of a mind blank. It looks quite familiar. It's obviously some enormous protest. I'm getting kind of global 2021 kind of protest vibes from this. Dishwasher's woken up again. It might not be that recent. What is this language? Like normally when I see like a line along the top with stuff like dangling off it, that's kind of like Thai or something like that, but I don't think that's what we're looking at here. I'm kind of half expecting that this is just going to be like a million miles off in both year and location, because I don't know. Maybe like my instinct with this is, I think it's just like a funny font, but I think this is Thailand or somewhere in that vague section of the world. That looks like it's saying 2013. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a while ago. Maybe let's take that clue, that 2013 clue, and let's try that. Okay, it was 2013. It was in Dhaka. So that's Bangladesh, right? All right. Well, pretty bad, but not the end of the world. Right, round 4. Baumgartner, Skladish. Once again, we've got one of these kind of Eastern European languages with these accents on the things and lots of Zs. I mean, like, it can't be another Budapest, can it? It's pretty old. I think it's safe to say this is pre-1920, probably even like way back in sort of this first few years of the 20th century, something like that. In terms of, I don't know whether there's any place names in here that are gonna help us out, but again, it's maybe it's Czech, Česk. I mean, like, maybe it's Prague. I don't think we'd have, I mean, maybe it is just randomized, but I don't think we'd have 2 in Budapest in the same day. It's looking, I think, more Czech to me than like Polish, which I may be wrong about, but then do we have those kind of A's with umlauts on in Czech? Not really. I'm not confident in this either. I think maybe, oh gosh, very short on time here. Somewhere in this whole part of the world. Let's just say Prague. I'm not confident in that at all, but Prague 1905. Croatia. Okay, well the year wasn't a million miles away, but oh man. Zagreb, Croatia. I'm sure there's, for those in the know, I'm sure there's plenty of clues here that would have given more evidence than I was able to pick up on. Right, I think this is the final round. This is in French. Cinéma lutige sensationnel pour la liberté du monde. Pearl White. So some of it's written in English. Mostly French. Which doesn't necessarily mean that we're in France, but I think it's probably a fairly safe assumption. Cinéma lutte. I mean, when this is, I'm going to say this is, again, very early on. It looks almost colorized. 20s? Earlier than that? This is quite difficult as well. I don't think it's later than the 20s. I'm thinking it might be earlier. La liberté du monde. Could that be something to do with the fact that there's a war? Freedom of the world? This is looking almost warlike. I can't imagine that this would be World War II. These guys look a little bit military. So maybe it's... I mean, is it possible that this is the 30s? This is World War II? I'm not sure. 40s, rather. There seems to be quite an established, road set up here. I'm going to say Paris, just because... Who knows? I'm really torn between, the US, France... whatever's going on here. That sounds to me more like a kind of World War II. Maybe we hedge and we go sort of in the middle of the 20s, just so that we're not too far either way. Oh, I don't know. No, let's say World War One. Let's just go with it. Just in case. Yeah, okay. All right, good. So it was 1 year away and it was in Paris. Okay, all right, that worked out kind of okay. All right, where did we net out there? 37, yeah. Some really difficult ones. Some very difficult ones. I mean, this one, how anybody would have been able to tell that was in Prague. And I realised that I immediately forgot later that I'd had one in Prague. So I went in Prague again. That one... God, some pretty terrible location guesses here. There was, only one guess that was even less than 100 kilometers off. Terrible, difficult day. I hope if you play along that you did better than I did. But yeah, we live and learn.